My Instagram strategy for 2022 has changed. Here's what I'm doing to grow my audience and generate customers on the platform without being reliant on the algorithm whatsoever. Sound interesting? Let's get into it. Now, the past couple years, one of the biggest things that people have complained about, whether it be through news stories, in my DMs, or in my comments on YouTube, has been the algorithm. Now, if your goal is to become the next Charli D'Amelio or whatever the latest celebrity is, mainstream influencer, then yes, you're going to be heavily reliant on the algorithm pushing your content. You're only probably going to last as the in thing for a few months to maybe a year if you're lucky. Luckily, however, if you're on Instagram to grow your business, you don't have to rely on it that much. You can use Instagram successfully without having to rely on the algorithm to push your content and still generate a ton of sales, build a loyal audience, and be very successful. Then anything that comes from the algorithm pushing your content out to new people is a nice additional boost. Now, there's essentially three things that you need if you want to build an audience and make an income from Instagram, which is pretty much my new strategy, and I'm going to share it with you all here today. So if you're new, make sure you like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I give away all of my content entirely free across YouTube and Instagram and even my podcast. So all that I ask is hopefully you enjoy it, subscribe to the channel, tell a friend, and that's about it. Now, the first thing that you're going to need is you're going to need an offer or something which you're going to sell to your audience. This is obviously what makes you an income, and you're going to want to build an audience based around this offer. If you have an existing business that you're bringing to Instagram, whether it be a local business, a digital business, whatever the business might be, then chances are you already have this somewhat sorted. If you're starting from scratch and a newbie, maybe you find an affiliate offer where you are promoting someone else's business or product, you earn a commission for generating them sales. For myself, seeing this video is technically about my strategy for 2022. I have one core offer, which is our consulting program, where I work with business owners one-on-one to help them get better results, grow their audience, and generate customers. We do other things too. We manage and monetize theme pages in the business/entrepreneurship niche for people, and it's like a done-for-you service. And we're also getting into the influencer marketing world for some clients as well, but there are very specific niche offers that we only work with very, very specific clients. So it's not really something that I publicly promote that much. So the main thing that I offer is the one-on-one consulting. You need to make sure though that you get very clear on what it is that you offer. Is it a consulting thing? Is it a service-based business? Is it a product that you're an affiliate for that you promote for someone else? You need to get really clear on what your value proposition is, and then this way everything else becomes easier, because if you know what your offer is, you chances are know who you're trying to reach. And if you know who you're trying to reach and you know what your offer is, you can understand what sort of content you can create that will help those people with that problem, and then will eventually become a natural progression into working with you. It also means that you'll know who you're trying to reach, which means it's easier to find where these people are and get in front of them to actually build your audience. If you get that down pat, everything becomes so much easier. So please take a moment to think, like, what is it that you offer? Who is it that you're trying to help? And get very clear. Now, the second part of my strategy that you're gonna want is content. Content is where you're gonna build rapport and trust with people, which will lead you gaining followers. And then down the line, as these people turn into true fans, eventually some of them are going to turn into customers. Because at the end of the day, if you own a gardening store and you're selling, gardening tools and plants and fertilizers, and you're putting out consistent content every single day around how people should be creating their gardens, how they should set it up, what plants to use in what seasons, what fertilizers to use, what tools are the best things to use, eventually the type of people who consume that content are going to be gardeners. And then think about it. They're going to need to buy plants, they're going to need to buy not furniture, they're going to need to buy fertilizer, they're going to need to buy gardening tools, and who do you think they're going to go to? The random business that they know nothing about, or the person who's been giving them all these tips and tricks for months and months and months? Ideally, what you want to do is you want to fill your feed with content that is valuable to the people you're trying to reach. This way, when you get in front of those people, they are going to turn into a follower pretty quickly, and they are going to binge on your content. This gains a ton of trust, and even though I said this video is like without relying on the algorithm, if you can create great content so that when someone lands on your page, they go and binge it, that is really going to help you build inside of the algorithm and get a lot more organic reach. Now, value can be many different things. So when I talk about creating valuable content, it does depend a bit on what type of business you're in. If you run a restaurant, for example, it's going to be hard to create educational content. So most of the time, you're probably going to be showcasing your foods, maybe talking about how these foods come together, why you use these different ingredients or put food together in this way. If you're a comedian, you might be posting clips from your recent stand-up show, which make people laugh. Because the people you're trying to reach is you're trying to reach people, make them laugh, get them to come to your show or buy some of your merch. And so the value you provide those people is a funny clip. If you're in the educational niche like myself, where you're teaching something online, then you're going to want to create short pieces of content giving away free valuable insights. You can take a look at my page, and this, by the way, is the page that I'm applying this strategy to at Cleverpreneur, where pretty much every day I'm posting something related to building or monetizing your Instagram or sometimes other social media platforms as well. Because I'm trying to reach business owners who are trying to build their audience, so every single day I publish content helping these people doing exactly that. The whole goal here is to build rapport. So like I say, your target audience lands on your page, which we'll get into how to do that soon. They then see a clear message of what you offer, they get a ton of value from your content, and instantly you've got a fan. You want to set it up with the thought of, would a stranger that is interested in my niche benefit from landing on my page? That's how I always go about it. So in my mind, when I'm thinking of what content I should create, I'm thinking, if a business owner lands on my page and they binge through this content, will they get something from it? And personally, I think if you do that on my account, you will get something from it. I think if you're a business owner and you go to my Instagram at Cleverpreneur, I think you'll benefit a lot from it. I think you'll learn a lot from it. And that's how you want to think and set this up as well. Again, we aren't focusing on the algorithm here, but like I touched on before, if you create your account in this way that your target audience then binge on it, Instagram will notice that, hey, whenever a person who fits all of this criteria, which is chances are your target audience, lands on this person's page, your page, and they instantly go and like watch 10 of your reels and engage with a bunch of your content, that's a really good signal in the algorithm, and they will push it to more people. But we're not focused on the algorithm today. So the third part of the strategy, and this is where things get interesting, and this is where you're trying to drive those impressions of targeted people to your profile. Now, this can happen in a multitude of ways. There's actually a lot of different ways you can do this. The first two things that I've shared with you in this video pretty much will stay the same and have always been the same. You've always needed a good offer. You've always needed valuable content. And that's actually applicable to every single platform. YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram. I don't know what other platforms we've got, MySpace. Those two are universally the same. Now, the third part is driving impressions. And this varies almost month to month just about, and platform to platform is always slightly different. Now, one way that pretty much is universal across all platforms and always works is what's known as the comment strategy or the $1.80 strategy. This is where you find accounts who have your target audience, where your target audience already engage, and you go out there and comment and interact on those pages to generate awareness from those people who then come back to your page. This is something that I've been doing every single day on my account, which has helped us go from 0 to 1,100 followers in just over a month. And it's sort of going to help catapult us to hopefully hit 5K and then 10K in the next few months. Another way that you can do this is by investing into influencer marketing. So this way, instead of investing your time into the $1.80 strategy, you're investing money into paying these accounts who have your target audience, so the same pages, but instead of just commenting on their posts, you're going to pay them to post some of your content to build your audience. And this is where you're buying your way in. This is actually very effective when done right, but there's a little bit more of a risk when you're investing your money, because people will often gladly invest an hour into a strategy that might not work because they do it badly, but as soon as they invest $50 into a strategy and they do it badly and it doesn't work, they're more annoyed with that, weirdly. Now, a third way that you can drive more impressions to your page is through using Instagram Reels. Now, this is a way that even with 0 followers, if you create the right content, you can reach new people on the platform who hopefully fit your target audience. Now, yes, Instagram Reels, you are reliant on the algorithm, but still, it is a great way that you can reach people, and it is way easier to reach new people through the Reels algorithm than through the feed post algorithm. Now, a fourth way that you can generate more impressions to your page is using TikTok. So if you're already creating Reels, you might as well post those on TikTok too for additional reach. The issue with TikTok is it's hard to go deep. It's very easy to go shallow and get a lot of people to watch a couple of videos once, but it's not like Instagram where you can be posting stories every day that your core audience see every single day and building that relationship, which is why the two work really well together. Use TikTok to get awareness, use Instagram to convert that awareness into true fans and customers. Now, the whole idea here is to find ways to essentially just put yourself in front of your target audience. And like I said, this evolves over time. Now, again, seeing this video is specifically about my strategy, and I've gone over how I'm doing my offer. I've shown you what content I'm creating, and now I'll show you what I'm doing to generate awareness. And currently, that is the $1.80 strategy. So I've been investing time every single day into commenting on large accounts in my niche who have the target audience that I want. I've been posting Reels, which is helping me reach new people. And that's pretty much been the only two that we've used to go from 0 to about 1,100 followers in 33-ish days. Now, what I'm likely to start doing soon is repurposing those Reels for TikTok. So I'll be posting them there, which is going to be an additional way to gain new reach and new followers. And I'm also probably going to start investing into influencer marketing, but I'll more be investing in my relationships rather than money. So instead of paying for promotions, I'll probably find people who already watch my content and enjoy my content and see if they'd be willing to share it to their audiences if they have the audience that I want. And doing things where I can do cross promotions. So maybe I collab on a video with someone and then they collab on a post with me. Or maybe I find someone with 100,000 followers and maybe they're a fitness coach, and then I can show them, I can give them consulting and help them build their audience, and they can in turn promote me, different things like that, like getting creative with it. Now, when you do all of this, notice how none of it really relies on the algorithm. You don't need the algorithm for a good offer. You don't need the algorithm to create valuable content. You don't need the algorithm to go and comment on people's content to drive awareness to your account. You don't really need the algorithm for people to share your content to their audiences or do collaborations. You do need it for Reels, but Reels, you can reach a lot of people. Even a bad Reel will still reach new people who don't follow you. But if you do this right and you don't really worry too much about the algorithm, just creating valuable content and getting it in front of those people, naturally you'll probably do much better, because people will land on your page, they'll binge on your content, they'll engage with it, and then as you're just building up targeted people in this niche who are all engaging with your stuff, you're going to build a small cult-like following that's constantly engaging with you, and then that will naturally lead to the algorithm pushing your content to more similar people who will likely enjoy it and engage with it too. And this has a snowball effect. I can already start to see the effects of this strategy on my account, Cleverpreneur. Here's a screenshot from the analytics tool that I use called Flick, which is showing that my engagement rate is currently 33%. Now, Flick measures your engagement rate based on how many people saw your content, so your amount of reach, and then how many people engage with it, as opposed to how you might traditionally measure your engagement rate with a tool like Flanks, I think it's pronounced, which looks at your total followers compared to how much engagement you get, which is not as useful information. But anyway, the engagement rate is 33%, which means if 100 people see my post, 33 of them will engage with it in some way, shape, or form, which is ridiculous. And that is actually 65% higher than the average for accounts my size. So this strategy is already working, even though I've just been doing it for about a month. And following this strategy, I expect to see exponential growth. The first few months will be relatively slow, building a strong community, building a loyal following, testing out what content works, testing out what growth strategies are working best for the account, and then it should start compounding and start just taking off. And that's essentially going to be my plan, to build this account to 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 followers in the future. Hopefully this video helps you as more of these things that I'm talking about, like as my ideas are turning into fruition and we actually hit 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, whatever follow account, I'll create videos along the way documenting what's working, what's not, what's helped, what hasn't, etc. So hopefully you can learn from it. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and like the videos. Like I say, everything I post out here is free. I only charge for like one-on-one time, which if you are an e-learning or agency business and you need help growing and generating more customers, I've left a link down below where you can book a call with me. We'll jump on the phone, see if you're a good fit to work with us. If not, like I say, everything I post is for free. Hopefully you enjoy it. Follow me on Instagram @Cleverpreneur to see what I'm doing, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.